What is going on, guys? Today we are back with another tier list, and it's the first one of the set. We normally do goalkeepers, attackers, midfielders and defenders, and we're starting off with the good old goalkeepers, as they predominantly are the thing everybody looks for to start with. And this year it's a little bit different, which is always nice because everybody is relatively cheap, other than the icons, which, to be honest, is to be expected. That is just what it is. The icons eventually come down in price with icon packs. But gold-wise, we're looking at Courtois, who is technically the most expensive gold goalkeeper at 70,000 coins already. That is a good stead to get your goalkeeper sorted and get it in net. So make sure that you are getting it right straight away. Now, the one thing that I've tested, and I kind of knew the conclusion anyway, but we did try out some women goalkeepers other than Endler. Endler is not terrible purely for the fact that she's 6 foot. Don't get me wrong, I still much prefer Courtois, Donnarumma. I feel like their save rates were just a little bit better in my opinion. But when it comes to the goalkeepers I haven't added loads. We've got Earps from Man U, and I believe we've got Sandra, I want to say? Yeah, Sandra from the women's Barcelona team. They were woeful. Sandra's 5'7", and I believe Earps is the same as well at 5'8". The same as Campos in my opinion. They are just far too small, unfortunately. Unless you are hitting it directly at the goalkeeper, which predominantly now, once you're starting to get into the higher ranks of rivals or even going into champs, people know how to shoot and how to go around. A finesse in the box, a lob shot, just a dipping shot. They're just not tall enough. And I had the exact same issue with Campos last year and this year. They always just get lobbed 24/7. And I don't know if anybody else has a different opinion. Personally, I didn't see one good review or one good comment from Campos last year. And I do think the women goalkeepers, other than Endler, like I say, who is at least semi-decent. Like, she can actually, I'd happily go in A for her, just purely for the fact that she did actually make some decent saves at the very minimum. But when it comes to the lower rated, or at least the lower heighted goalkeepers, unfortunately, they're just not it for myself. Again, let me know your opinion. I personally just didn't rate it whatsoever. But we have got a lot of goalkeepers to get through, so let's have a look at some of the low ones to start with. We have got the beautiful combination of Pope and Ramsdale. Ramsdale, I believe he is, how tall is he now? He's 6'3", but Pope, 6'6", as always, a beautiful goalkeeper. Massive, absolutely massive in between the sticks. I've been enjoying both, to be honest. Ramsdale was kind of that starting goalkeeper. We've then kind of ventured into a bit of Kobel. I'm trying not necessarily to buy my keeper, who is going to be in the team for a while, purely for the fact I do want them untradeable and I don't want to lose any value. So hopefully we do pack that Courtois soon, because he, as a little bit of a sneak preview, is pretty awesome. But in terms of Ramsdale, I'm going to give him a nice rating. To start with, I'm going to go with B for him. I did personally prefer Pope, if I'm being honest, but I feel like the in between them, there's just not a lot going on. I feel like the level is very similar, but I must admit, I think Pope just edges it in my opinion. We then move down, we'll have a look at Trapp. Another good keeper this year, gone down to an 85 unfortunately, so no longer a walkout, but I do think a solid keeper, very much like Ramsdale in my opinion. I think he's decent, but again, I think Pope edges it for him as well. If we look at the two Brazilians in Alisson and Ederson, beautiful combination between these two. I must admit, this year I'm kind of favouring towards Ederson a little bit more. Alisson has normally been my absolute #1 favourite, whereas Ederson, I don't know, I've been seeing him a lot more recently, and I don't know if it's just the kick, or there's something about him that just does better for me. I don't know if one of them needs to be an S+ personally. I personally don't think I could put them on different tiers, just purely for the fact that they both are outstanding keepers. But I must admit, like I say, Ederson is just taking my favour a little bit more at the moment. But we'll see how we go on. It can change. Another one that definitely is putting himself in that category, I feel like he was such a miss out last year, is Mignan. A outstanding keeper. I really like him this year. Again, phenomenal. Unfortunately, Szczesny will take the lower spot in comparison to him, because I do think in terms of Mignan, he has been absolutely brilliant just in general, has been phenomenal going forward. We have had our first Squad Foundations goalkeeper as well in Sillison. Not a bad keeper whatsoever, 83 rated. Get him for free by just doing the Squad Foundations Eredivisie, and you've got yourself a starting Dutch keeper at the very minimum. Not quite Van der Sar, but at the very minimum, he is free. Bar from time. But in terms of him, I feel like he's chilling. He's chilling in a B. He's a standard goalkeeper. He's not going to give you the best performance in the world. But again, he's not necessarily letting in just absolute howlers 24/7. He is semi-decent at the minimum. Kobel, on the other hand, a big upgrade from him. Going from, 83 or 84 last year, all the way up to an 87 for Dortmund. An incredible keeper. Again, I'd say looking at him from when we've played with the topper keepers, or at least the higher rated keepers, I'd put him in a solid A. We managed to get him untradeable pretty early on, and he's done well so far, but I wouldn't say necessarily he's in that S category for me. I feel like he's more of a standard sort of keeper. I'd like to tell you about skycoach.gg. They offer many features within the FIFA franchise, from FIFA coins to FIFA Weekend League boosts, from trusted sellers, pro players, and are the best prices on the market currently. They have fast delivery, high quality services, lots of games, and also a cashback program. The more coins you buy, the more eligible you are for cashback options. So if you want to buy FIFA coins at the best price, click the link in the description of this video. It will be active promo code for 10% discount from my subscribers. All you have to use is the code JT11 at the checkout to receive this bonus. On to the video. Let's attack some of these icons then, because they are very expensive, as we can imagine. We have got Schmeichel coming in at 295k. We have Peter Cech at 235,000 coins. We have Casillas at 305. We have Yashin at 500,000 and a whopping 633,000 coins for our man Van der Sar. Let's see if we can move that in one more. An incredible array of keepers again. The only version of the keepers, so it's an interesting one to see where we go in this future with the icons only having one variant. Again, I can imagine they're going to start that very, very soon. So where does the listing go? I think in terms of what everybody is always known, Van der Sar is 100% number one. He, again, another year, another absolute win for this card. He is unbelievable as always. I've mainly just been seeing him, kind of clips of him more than anything, but by God, he looks fantastic. We then have the likes of Cech. This year, I'm feeling a little bit different with him, to be honest. Last year and the year before, when he got introduced into the game, it was just purely based on the base and mid, was woeful. Absolutely woeful. This year, I'm feeling a little bit different. I don't know if the change maybe has happened, but in terms of goalkeepers now, there is very little between all of them. I must admit, between S plus, S, then A and B, then C's kind of just the fodder more than anything. I don't feel like there is a massive difference between them. Yes, we have got a few playstyles, but I don't think they make as much of a difference. They have obviously make a little bit of a difference, but there's no playstyle pluses on keepers, so it's interesting to see if we ever get that. I feel like a playstyle plus comes for crosses or something could be an interesting one to explore. Yashin, I'm personally going to keep Van der Sar on his own there. I do think in terms of a goalkeeper, he is absolutely clear of everybody. And when we start to get informs, special cards, maybe more icons, there might be some that join in personally, but he is absolutely clear on top. I'm going to go Casillas in the S as well. And this year, I'm thinking for me, Schmeichel and Cech sit themselves there. They may not be kind of the best goalkeeper to buy for efficiency, as they both are relatively expensive, coming from 240 to 290. It's a big price for a keeper when you can, like I say, you can literally go get Courtois for 70,000 coins, and I guarantee you will love the Courtois. But I do think in terms of what they bring to your team is a solid option. And a big thing with the icons this year again is the fact they do give links to every league this time. I don't know if it was a blip last year. I feel like it should have been, because there's no way that heroes give the full link to everybody in that league, but icons only give icon links. I don't know, but they have changed it. They've made it better. All of them give. So, for instance, you had 10 different leagues in there. You get an extra one per icon. I think that is absolutely perfect. So 2 icons, and literally your team is going to be somewhat decent going forward with it. Then we have a few of the lower tiers again. We have Navas. Personally, for me, I think he's bog standard. This year, they've ruined him. Absolutely ruined him. He's just not the same anymore. He's dropped down a huge rating from, 88 to 85. I just don't feel it anymore with him. He probably being a bit harsh with a C. I'll stick with a B, to be honest, because I feel like he is better than Campos and obviously the two ladies, but he really is the kind of bottom tier of B, in my opinion. I'd even choose Sommer over him. Sommer's actually been semi-decent. We used him, I think, day 2 with the Serie A team that we started to pack. Leao, Osimhen, then into the midfield. We just had an abundance of Serie A players, so Sommer was a great pack to be able to get him into that team as well. Martinez, another one that's coming from the Prem, 85 rated, definitely pushed himself up that little bit more in terms of being in that A category. Maybe we see a bigger upgrade for him again. Never know. We have Unana. Pretty standard again, very much like Martinez, makes the good saves, good amount of speed, which is always nice. And I always kind of have a look at what stats mean something, because speed is the one that's drastically changed across cards. You've got 39 on Van der Sar, and yet he's one of the best, if not the best goalkeeper in the game. 58, 64, 51. You then go further down to 47. There's no consistency, and yet I do think when it comes to goalkeepers there is very little difference. So how is speed such a difference and yet it seems to not make the difference? I don't know. Keepers are such a hard one to really find a stat that differentiates the lot of them. Obviously the kick in, the throw in, the far throw trait, then the kick in for instance Ederson has a massive kick, whereas Alisson has a big throw. It depends on what you like. Dudek, on the other hand, 86 rated. How much is he actually now? I know he was pretty cheap straight away, but it's always interesting to keep up to date. 70,000 coins. Not bad, to be honest. He could easily have gone to complete kind of discard rate already. So it does mean that people are using him still, whereas Campos is coming in at 85.5. That's gotta be a glitch. Oh, okay, don't matter. I was gonna say there was no way that Campos is not minimum value. His rating, his price range is stuck at 85. That's why. Make sure Dudek's is not. I'm pretty sure Dudek is his normal price. Yeah, 11k. So in terms of Dudek, we already knew. A is good enough for him. I don't think S, maybe in a couple of version upgrades, once we got to like a fantasy foot, I feel like that could be a better version of him, but we are a long way away from there. We have Bonu, I think I'm pronouncing that right, gone up to an 85 this year after an absolutely wonderful display at the World Cup. Again, another nice keeper. I loved him last year in terms of once he got his special card in the team of the tournament. You could definitely tell this keeper putting him on the map a little bit more and most definitely giving him a tryout at the very minimum. The only thing that I think would lower him for me, and if it was based off the whole package, would be the league. I think at this point especially, we haven't necessarily got the best Saudi team yet. Once we start getting informs, off performance-based specials, team of the weeks with Saudi players, then yes, that is going to be a good goalkeeper to have for the links. But right now, I don't see many people. Like Neymar's a number one shout, obviously CR7, but other than that, at this moment in time, I can't think of anybody else that I'd be like, yes, is a definite starter. Then we move on to actually the higher rated keepers of the game. Neuer unfortunately has taken a little bit of a dip in his rating to 87, which is absolutely crazy. I never thought I'd see Neuer at an 87 for at least a couple more years, but to be honest, he has been there for a long time. I would say top of A, if I'm being honest. I don't think S this year personally. I think if I'm looking at the keepers that we've got, I would much prefer everybody that I'm going to put in that category over Neuer, if I'm being brutally honest. Or he could be a low S, but I'm saying top A at the moment. Courtois for me is going to be up there with Van der Sar. S+, the best goalkeeper in the game. In opinions, because most definitely I could see the argument for Alisson, I could see the argument for Ederson, and I could most definitely see the argument for Donnarumma as well. He is another keeper that is absolutely massive. I want to say 6'6". It's been a while since I've looked at his height, to be honest. 6'5", so not far off, but an absolutely stunning shot stopper. Gets the ball, he's got the throw, he's got the just in general positioning / diving, and I think he is a wonderful goalkeeper. But then we have the final two in terms of ter Stegen and Oblak. Oblak with a 3 downgrade, whereas ter Stegen's gone 1 down, I think. Was he a 90? Pretty sure he was a 90. These two, again, are pretty standard as ever. You absolutely love them. They are obviously both going in the S. It's not a problem at all with either of them. They have the saves, they know what to do, and they've got everything that you need for a starter goalkeeper, most definitely. I must admit, Van der Sar, Courtois are my number one and number two favourites, but I do think in terms of this list, I would absolutely take any of the S plus and S's. A's if I've packed them. Must admit, I'd love the icons just because they're an icon and they give you the links, but I would absolutely take a Van der Sar or Courtois any day of the week. So let me know down below what you think about this list. Make sure you like and subscribe and let me know who is in the sticks for you. Peace.